Shocking red carpet. Jamie Dornan kneels down to propose to Dakota in front of hundreds of cameras. None of the hundreds of photographers, fans, and distinguished guests at this year's Venice Film Festival could have predicted what was about to happen, not even the star of the evening, Dakota Johnson. She stepped out of a luxurious wooden boat, wearing a pearl-colored Dior gown, the train gently sweeping over the ancient stone steps. The dark sunset fell on the water, creating a dreamlike scene. Jamie Dornan, her former co-star, who had been her soulmate for nearly a decade, was waiting at the end of the red carpet, where the two had been invited as guests of honor for the special screening of 50 Shades: Legacy, a documentary celebrating the 10th anniversary of the series. Dakota walked slowly, gracefully as usual. Little did she know, her every step was leading her to a turning point in her life. A second before the world changed, Jamie Dornan had always been a quiet, reserved man. He had sworn to himself that he would never kneel in public. But tonight, something in Dakota's eyes, in the sound of his heart beating as she approached, shattered all principles. The moment Dakota stepped up to Jamie, cameras flashed, and then no one understood what was happening. Jamie reached into his vest pocket, pulled out a small velvet box, and then knelt. The entire red carpet froze. Dakota stood frozen. She thought she was being filmed for a reality show. Or a prank. It couldn't be. Jamie couldn't. He couldn't, but Jamie Dornan, the man who had played Christian Grey, who had been someone else's husband, who Dakota had thought never belonged to her, was looking up at her not as an actor, but as a man about to bet his heart. Dakota Mae Johnson, he began, his voice trembling with emotion. I've loved you since you touched your first cup of coffee in the dressing room. All these years, I've waited for the right moment. And if today isn't it, it never will be. He opened the velvet box. Inside was a simple ring, not a brilliant diamond, but a pale purple sapphire, the stone Dakota had said she loved in an interview 8 years ago. Please, Jamie looked at her, tears in her eyes, marry me, the rest of the decade. Dakota didn't speak for the first 10 seconds. She couldn't, her throat tightened. The audience on both sides of the red carpet began to murmur. Some put their hands to their mouths, some took pictures, but many forgot to record. All those years, how many times they'd laughed, filmed, hugged in the scene and then walked away from the camera like strangers, all those memories came rushing back like a wave. Dakota remembered Jamie holding her hand at the premiere of the final 50 Shades Freed. At the time, people said he was acting. But today, he wasn't acting. She nodded. Wordless. Just a nod, but it was enough to make Jamie cry. He stood up and hugged her tightly. The applause was thunderous. The red carpet erupted like a Broadway stage closing the curtain on a great play. After the glass, small diamond 48 hours later, the entertainment world was still reeling. The news of the red carpet proposal became the hottest topic in the newspapers. Vogue published exclusive photos. People created a column called Hollywood's Most Beautiful Late Love. Twitter went crazy with the hashtag Jamie proposes Dakota, reaching the top trending worldwide. Meanwhile, Dakota and Jamie chose to retreat. They didn't speak to the press. They didn't post anything on social media. They didn't appear at the after-party. They rented a small villa on Murano Island, where there were only canals, cold prosecco, and no one to recognize them. Dakota sat on the porch, still looking at the ring on her hand, not believing it was real. Did you do this because I really wanted to marry you, or because you thought that's what the public expected? She asked, her voice shaking. Jamie was silent for a long time. I did it, he turned, placing his hand on her cheek, because if I didn't, I would lose you again. A love without a script. 3 weeks later, Dakota and Jamie held a private engagement ceremony at Elton John's villa in the south of France. There was no media, just close friends, Emily Blunt, Chris Hemsworth, Tilda Swinton, and even Rita Ora. At the reception, Jamie raised his glass. "We used to play two lost people who found each other. But today, we are who we are, and we still found each other." In real life, Dakota didn't cry, but her eyes sparkled as she whispered to her best friend, "I thought this would always be a dream. But he made it come true, right in front of a crowd. And I've never been more sure."